Long Island Medium's popular star Theresa Caputo is on her way to a new chapter. She is currently 5 months pregnant and about to become a mother. This is great news for fans as Theresa is hopeful of a new life despite the ups and downs in her family and personal life. Theresa Caputo had always believed in the spiritual world, but she never expected to receive the greatest miracle of her life, becoming a mother again at 57. After years of guiding others through messages from beyond, she was now preparing to welcome a new life into her own world. The news of her pregnancy had shocked everyone, including her children, Larry Jr. and Victoria. "Mom, are you serious?" Victoria had asked, her voice a mix of excitement and disbelief. Theresa laughed, placing a hand on her growing belly. "Spirit works in mysterious ways, honey." Her journey hadn't been easy. After years of personal struggles, including a public divorce from Larry Caputo and the challenges of rebuilding her life, Theresa had found love again with her new partner, James. He was a quiet, grounded man who balanced her larger-than-life personality. When they discovered she was expecting, they were overjoyed but cautious. Given her age, the pregnancy was high risk, yet Theresa believed that if Spirit had given her this gift, she was meant to see it through. Her fans had mixed reactions. Some congratulated her, calling it a divine blessing, while others were skeptical. But Theresa had never let criticism shake her faith. "I talk to the dead for a living," she told one reporter with a wink. Bringing life into the world is just another part of the journey. As she entered her 5th month, she felt the baby kick for the first time. Tears filled her eyes. It was real. It was happening. Sitting in her meditation room, surrounded by candles and crystals, she closed her eyes and whispered, "Thank you, Spirit, for this gift. I promise to cherish every moment." A soft, warm breeze brushed her cheek, a familiar sign from the other side. Perhaps it was her late grandmother, letting her know she wasn't alone in this journey. Theresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, was about to embark on her biggest adventure yet, not just as a messenger between worlds, but as a mother once more. However, it was a crisp, sunny afternoon on Long Island, and the air was filled with excitement as friends and family gathered for Victoria Caputo's baby shower. The house was beautifully decorated with pastel colors, soft pink and blue balloons floating in every corner. The smell of freshly baked treats wafted through the air as laughter echoed from the backyard, where the party was taking place. Theresa Caputo, known for her extraordinary psychic abilities, stood at the center of the room, preparing for a special reading. As the Long Island medium, she had always felt a deep connection to the other side. But today was different. This was her daughter's baby shower, a milestone in their lives that felt more intimate and personal than any reading she had ever done. Guests mingled, sipping champagne and nibbling on appetizers, but Theresa was focused on the small table in the corner, where a few close family members had gathered. Victoria, her daughter, was glowing with joy, eagerly awaiting the moment Theresa would read for her. "Mom, do you think they'll like it?" Victoria asked nervously, glancing at the group of friends and relatives who were waiting for the reading. Theresa smiled softly, her eyes filled with warmth. "Honey, it's not about whether they like it. It's about what the spirits want to say. Just trust the process and let the messages come through." Victoria nodded, her nerves easing under her mother's comforting words. Theresa turned to the guests and gave them a reassuring smile. "All right, everyone, I'm going to do something a little different today. This isn't just about celebrating the arrival of a new baby. Today, we're going to connect with the other side and bring through messages from loved ones who may no longer be with us." The room fell silent. Guests had seen Theresa's incredible abilities on television, but in this intimate setting, they were all in awe of what was about to happen. Theresa closed her eyes and took a deep breath, centering herself. Her connection to the spirit world was always strongest in moments of deep emotion, and today, surrounded by love and anticipation, she could feel the energy building. She began to speak softly, her voice steady. "I'm picking up a strong presence here," she said, her eyes still closed. A grandmother figure, someone who loved deeply, who was always there to offer support. "I'm feeling a warmth around her, a nurturing energy." "She's sending a message to you, Victoria. She says, your baby is going to bring so much joy. I'm already watching over them." Victoria's eyes filled with tears as she placed a hand on her stomach, feeling a deep sense of comfort. She had lost her grandmother years ago, and hearing that message brought a sense of peace she didn't even realize she needed. Theresa continued, her voice gentle yet firm. I also have a message from a great-grandfather, someone who passed before the baby was born. He says, it's important to remember where you come from, your roots. Family is the foundation, and this little one will carry on the legacy. The room was hushed as everyone processed the profound messages that were coming through. It was as if the spirits had gathered to celebrate the arrival of the baby, offering guidance and love from beyond. As the reading continued, Theresa shared several more messages from loved ones who had passed. The room was filled with emotion as the guests listened, some with tears in their eyes, others with smiles of gratitude. It was a powerful experience, one that no one would forget. When the reading ended, Victoria hugged her mother tightly. Thank you, Mom. That was exactly what I needed today. It feels like our family, both here and gone, is with us in this moment. Theresa smiled, her heart full. They're always with you, sweetheart, always. As the guests returned to their celebrations, there was an undeniable sense of connection in the air, between generations, between the living and the spirit world. It wasn't just a baby shower anymore, it was a celebration of life, love, and the eternal bond that connects them all. However, in a small, dimly lit room, a group of skeptics gathered, their arms crossed, eyes narrowed in doubt. They had heard about Theresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, but they were here to challenge her abilities. The energy in the room was tense, filled with disbelief and cynicism. Yet Theresa, with her signature enthusiasm, stood in front of them, ready for whatever came her way. As the session began, Theresa felt a shift, intense and heartbreaking, yet full of resilience. Theresa knew immediately that this connection was meant for someone in the room. She closed her eyes and started speaking. There's a woman here. She's telling me her story, and it's one of survival. She's showing me images of a time I can't even begin to understand. She was in a place where fear ruled, but she made it through. I'm sensing she's connected to someone in this room. The room went silent. A woman sitting at the back, her arms still crossed in skepticism, felt a chill run down her spine. Her name was Miriam, and she had come to disprove Theresa. But as soon as the words hit her, something inside her stirred. Her grandmother had been a Holocaust survivor, a woman who spoke little of her past, but carried the weight of it in every part of her being. Theresa continued, unaware of the woman's reaction. She's showing me the horrors of a camp, the coldness, the loss, and the immense strength she held to survive. She says her family was torn apart, but she never gave up. She survived so others could live. There's a deep love for her family and a memory of a young child, someone she held onto tightly. Miriam's heart began to race. The description was too accurate. The child? It was her mother who had passed away years ago. Theresa wasn't speaking in vague terms. She was describing details that only someone who had lived through those harrowing moments could know. Miriam stood up slowly, her voice trembling as she asked, Who is she? Theresa looked directly at her, her eyes filled with compassion. She's your grandmother, Miriam. She's here to let you know that her spirit is still with you. She's proud of you, and she's thanking you for carrying her legacy forward. She says she never wanted to burden you with her memories, but she's proud of how strong you've become. Tears welled in Miriam's eyes. The walls of skepticism that had once held her tight began to crumble. She hadn't believed in mediums, hadn't believed in life after death. But now there was no denying what she felt, what Theresa had brought to the surface. The room, once filled with doubt, was now heavy with emotion, as even the skeptics couldn't ignore the undeniable connection that had just unfolded. Theresa, always in tune with the energy around her, took a deep breath and added, Your grandmother is at peace. She says to never forget the power of your roots and that you have an incredible strength within you. Don't doubt it. The session ended, but Miriam remained in the room, her mind racing. The skeptic had become the believer, not through a miracle, but through a message from the past, a message that could only come from someone who had truly lived through the unimaginable. And as she left, she knew one thing for certain. Theresa Caputo had helped her reconnect with a piece of her family's history that she'd never fully understood until now. However, it was a sunny afternoon in Florida, the kind of day that seemed perfect for taking a walk along the beach. But for Maria, the woman sitting quietly in her living room, the sunlight felt distant. She had been grieving the loss of her husband, David, for nearly a year. His sudden passing left a void that nothing could fill, and though her friends and family tried their best to comfort her, Maria felt as though the world had moved on without her. One day, as she was sitting by the window, staring out at the ocean, she received an unexpected phone call. It was from a friend who had recently attended one of Theresa Caputo's live shows in New York. "You won't believe it, Maria," her friend said excitedly. "Theresa is going to do a surprise reading for you." Maria, taken aback, didn't know what to say. She had seen Theresa on TV, but she never thought she'd be someone to receive a reading. After a brief silence, she agreed to the idea, still unsure of what to expect. Later that week, Theresa arrived at Maria's home, bringing with her an energy that was hard to ignore. The room seemed to fill with warmth as she greeted Maria with a genuine smile. "I know you've been through a lot," Theresa said softly, taking a seat across from her. "But David is here, and he has a message for you." Maria's heart skipped a beat as she tried to compose herself. She'd dreamed of hearing from David, but never expected it to come true in such an extraordinary way. Theresa closed her eyes for a moment, then began speaking. "He says he's so sorry he had to leave you so suddenly. He knows how much pain it caused, and he's been watching over you, trying to help you heal." Tears welled up in Maria's eyes as she listened to Theresa's words. It was as if David's presence filled a room, bringing with it a sense of peace that she had longed for. Theresa continued, sharing intimate details of their life together, memories that only Maria and David knew. "You have to keep moving forward," Theresa said, looking at Maria with compassion. "David wants you to know that he's proud of you. He sees your strength, even when you don't." Maria felt a weight lift off her chest, and for the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of hope. It was as though David was right there, guiding her through the darkness. She thanked Theresa, overwhelmed with gratitude. The reading ended with one final message. "Don't be afraid to love again," Theresa said. "David wants you to be happy." As Theresa left, Maria stood by the door, feeling a sense of closure she never thought possible. She knew that the journey of healing would take time, but with David's message in her heart, she felt ready to embrace the future. However, Theresa Caputo sat quietly in her cozy, sunlit living room, surrounded by the scent of lavender and vanilla. A new family had arrived, eager to seek her guidance, but this reading was different from the others. This time, it was for a newborn baby. The parents, Amanda and James, stood nervously by the doorway, holding their baby girl Lily in her soft pink blanket. Their hearts were filled with love and worry. Would their little one have a smooth journey ahead, or would challenges await her? They had heard of Theresa's gift and were hoping she could offer some reassurance about Lily's future. As they settled onto the couch, Theresa took a deep breath. Her connection to the spirit world had always been strong, but tonight it felt especially powerful. She closed her eyes and focused on the baby's energy, feeling the warmth of innocence and purity emanating from Lily. The spirits began to speak to her, soft whispers, clear messages, all centered around the baby. "Lily has an old soul," Theresa said, her voice filled with a gentle understanding. "She's been here before. Her energy is calm, wise, and full of love. She's meant for great things, though her path may not always be standing. She's been here before. Her energy is calm, wise, and full of love. She's meant for great things, though her path may not always be easy. There will be times when she faces emotional struggles, but she will overcome them with grace. She's a healer, just like you, Amanda." Amanda's eyes welled up with tears. She had always felt a deep connection to her own healing abilities, and the idea that Lily would have the same gift filled her with both pride and concern. "But will she be okay?" Amanda asked, her voice trembling. Theresa smiled warmly, reaching out to gently touch the baby's hand. "She'll be more than okay. She will bring light to the world. She's meant to touch many hearts and will have a profound impact on those around her. Trust that she's guided by love, and all will unfold as it should." Lily's tiny hand twitched, as if she understood the message being shared. The parents shared a look of quiet relief, a bond of unconditional love and faith surrounding their baby girl. Theresa's words had calmed their fears and filled them with hope. As the reading came to an end, Theresa stood up and turned toward the window. "There's something special about this little one," she said softly. "She has a deep connection to the universe. I see her helping others, not just with her hands, but with her heart. She's here to teach us all the true meaning of unconditional love." Amanda and James left the session with a renewed sense of peace. The future was still uncertain, but with Theresa's insight, they knew that Lily was destined for something extraordinary. In the stillness of the night, the baby slept peacefully, her tiny spirit glowing with the promise of all the love and wisdom she would bring into the world. Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Mina, hope your day is so well. If you liked the video, don't forget to